David Haye, one of the sparkling stars of world boxing, the saviour of the glamorous heavyweight division.
Once the bell rings, I'm the most devastating fighter on the planet.
Audley Harrison, Olympic gold medalist, the talented enigma of British boxing.
And Britain, I know you like to call me fraudly, but it's going to be extraordinary. Now I'm at my moment of destiny, and I'm not going to be denied by David Haye.
Two men, once great friends, now the best of enemies.
When I was younger, when I was a teenager, I looked up to Audley.
David Haye was the student, I was the master. I believe I've been a genuine friend to David Haye.
I said I was going to do some big things, and I did them. So I think there's a bit of jealousy in that side.
David has gone past me, and he didn't look behind and help me out when I needed him.
We drifted apart, you know, he went his route, I went mine.
But he's your old mate.
Well, but he was also the laughingstock of British boxing.
All the troubles I've had in my career, I am going to upset David Haye and shock the world.
It's going to be so one-sided. It couldn't be any more one-sided than a boxing match can be.
Can you say that after the bout, you will be best of friends?
I might visit him in his hospital bed with some fruit, maybe.
Time to light the blue touch paper and stand well back.
I make big boasts, I say big things, I sound passionate. I want this title to stay with me.
It's not going to stay with you, and that's the bottom line.
He's not going to land any of his shots, and he's going to be left unconscious on the floor.
I'm telling you now, David Haye is going to be in the fight of his life.
I'm not going to let Audley Harrison take this title off him, no matter what he does. No way in a million years.
Yes, I can. I can.
Can he? We will find out. The best of enemies, David Haye against Audley Harrison, is moments away. 20,000 here at the MEN Arena in Manchester. Barry McGuigan, just looking out there, it is phenomenal, isn't it?
Absolutely incredible. Just completely reminiscent of Ricky Hatton's fight against Kostiantzu. Absolutely packed to the rafter, filled with atmosphere, and I tell you, it is absolutely brilliant for boxing, brilliant for British boxing. It's incredible stuff.
Can you hear me, Johnny, above the crowd? What an atmosphere.
You know what? What's left of my hair would stand on end. This is unbelievable. What a buzz. And, you know, you've got all ages, men and women. You know, they're all there and sat on the edge of the seat, and everybody's got an opinion.
Harrison getting robed up. What were you thinking at this time, Lennox?
This time I'm just gathering all my thoughts, getting in the ring, making sure that I'm loose, and, you know, that all the talking is done. Time for action.
Johnny, you're pointing at those pictures of David Haye. What's the problem?
I'm just trying to see if that's a bandage on his right calf. Has he pulled a muscle on the right calf? Is that, you know, they've said to us there's not been any hiccups in training, but then all of a sudden he's got a bandage on his calf there. He may have pulled a muscle coming up to this. At what point has that happened? Because remember, last week we asked him, has training gone fine up to this point?
Does that give you cause for concern, Barry, the bandage?
Yeah, that is a bit of a surprise, right enough. But, you know, this is, you know, all this cloak and dagger stuff that they, you know, and lots of the little edgy stuff that they talk about and little psychological edges. I have to say that was a hell of a surprise there to see that bandage and support. And if that 3 stone starts bearing down on him and he gets beyond the halfway stage, that could be a significant point in the fight and could have a significant effect on David Haye.
Let's get more build-up ringside. Adam Smith with the Dart Destroyer, Nigel Benn.
That's it, we've just had Ricky Hatton, Frank Bruno. Wouldn't be the same without Nigel Benn as well. Does this take you back to your sort of best of enemies with Chris Eubank?
Yeah, and I know how they're feeling out there now. They're both nervous, just want to get it on. And I know for a fact tonight, someone's career is going to be over. Really, there's no coming back from this fight. And so for me, really, I understand what they're going through. They're both psyched up. I think they just want to get started now.
Fabulous atmosphere, wonderful occasion. The war is just minutes away. Who are you going to go for?
I think early doors has got to be Haye. But the longer the fight goes on, you don't know. But the difference is Audley Harrison going to fight. This is the opportunity now to fight, not to play around, to get in there and to have a real fight, to prove people that he's got a lot of bottle. To get knocked down, get up and try again. Keep going, you've got to fight. People want to see what you're made of. Today is the day that you're going to have to prove it.
Lovely to see you. Now go and squeeze in at ringside somewhere. Cheers, Nigel.
Who will prove it? The waiting is over, the talking is over. Britain, are you ready? The best of enemies is here. Your commentary team, Ian Darke and Jim Watt, after our MC, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for the bout you've all been waiting for. The best of enemies to battle for the heavyweight championship of the world. Please welcome the principals as they make their way to the ring. First, here is the challenger from London, A-Force, Audley Harrison.
A mixed reception at the announcement of Audley Harrison's name, but he's had worse than that in his career. Tonight, he looks to prove everybody wrong. All those who've been writing him off and deriding him all these years. Is this his night? Amid a frenetic and fantastic atmosphere, Harrison about to make his entrance. Delusional dreamer or man of destiny? We'll know soon enough. That's Harrison's record going through. There are 4 defeats on it. He's not fought at the same level as Haye until tonight. Well, it's quite an entrance, and boos ring around the arena. He finds himself cast again. I wondered whether he converted a few people with his PR this week and over the last few months, but it seems he's cast as the pantomime villain.
Yeah, the good news is he's used to it and he's had this all through his career. But I mean, physically and technically, this man is more than capable of springing a huge upset. He's huge, he's athletic, he's talented, he's a southpaw, but throughout his career he's fought with a reluctance that has cancelled out all of those assets. Tonight, his challenge is for the World Championship. Will he give it his best shot? Will he get his head around the job and give him his best? Or does he want to wake up tomorrow morning and think, I lost and I didn't give it my best shot? Hopefully not.
That's what makes this fight so fascinating. The boys have been saying it all night. It does remind you of that night when Ricky Hatton became a world champion against Kostya Tszyu. Packed to the rafters in here, and a fight seen by some when it was announced as too one-sided has gripped the nation. There's no doubt about it. My phone certainly hasn't stopped ringing with people asking me who's going to win. The answer, of course, is watch and find out.
Well, heavyweight boxing is all about entertainment. It's about the champion fighting the man everybody wants him to fight, and that's what's happening tonight. Huge interest for this fight. I'm amazed how many people have been talking to me about this fight over the last number of weeks. Phenomenal interest. Hopefully the fight will live up to that.
How does he look to you, Audley Harrison? We thought he was a bit edgy and wondered at the weigh-in yesterday. Looks relaxed enough to me here.
Yeah, he looks relaxed. There's a kind of tenseness in his eyes. If he wasn't keyed up, I would be worried about it. This is the biggest night of his life. He's called it his destiny night. Time will tell. But yeah, I'm happy with how he looks. He's coping with the atmosphere. He seems to be coping with the occasion. That's when that first bell sounds. What kind of Audley Harrison will leave the corner?
He's done a lot to sell this fight, that's for certain. Olympic gold, Commonwealth gold, 2 times ABA champion as amateur, European heavyweight champion as a professional in his last fight against Michael Sprott, when he produced a sensational punch to win it and come back from the brink of defeat. He'll have to be waiting a long time, though, because David Haye will take his time and make him wait. He's on his way now. They await David Haye's entrance.
And now, here is the defending world champion, also from London, the Haymaker, David Haye.
Well, he loves the stardom of being world champion, David Haye. He's going to love this entrance and the size of this occasion. David Haye, a world champion at cruiserweight first, and then the WBA heavyweight champion, giving away 7 stone that night to Nikolai Valuev. Tonight he gives away 3 stone to Audley Harrison. That's the record, 24 wins. Only 2 men have lasted the distance with him. And the one defeat was to Carl Thompson 6 years ago, when he just ran out of gas and was too novicy at the time. It's a great record, and he's floored a lot of people and hurt a lot of people. He's a real puncher.
Yeah, he's a real puncher and a real warrior. I mean, dominating at cruiserweight, and he's brought the speed up from cruiserweight, and I think now that he doesn't have to battle the scales, I think as a heavyweight he's punching even harder. Power to knock out any heavyweight he catches cleanly. And he loves pleasing the fans, he loves exciting the fans, and that's what he's here to do tonight.
David Haye, 9 years younger, a fact not often mentioned in the previews, than his opponent. Also from London, Haye from Bermondsey, Audley Harrison originally from Wembley, now based in Los Angeles. And he looks, doesn't he, every time he enters an arena, he looks as if there is no other place on the planet than he would rather be.
Yep, a man so happy to go to work, loves his job, loves pleasing the fans, but tonight there must be a little bit of pressure on his shoulders, because this is a fight he cannot afford to lose. If he were to lose his World Heavyweight Championship to Audley Harrison, I think he would pretty much feel that all he's achieved in his life had been wiped out with that one result. So there is no way he is taking this lightly, that the fact he's come in so light, he must be in tremendous shape, and he'll want to do a job on Audley Harrison. He's put himself on the line, as he always does. Now he's here to back up those words.
What he actually said was if he lost to Harrison, he would not be able to walk the streets of South London again. Nigel Benn, 20 years on from that wonderful fight with Chris Eubank, the first of them. Reveling in it all, everybody is here. Star-studded cast at ringside. And David Haye milking it for everything it's worth here.
He's bringing a certainty into the ring. He is completely sure, completely confident he's going back home with that championship belt. And I have to say, I think he's bang on right. I think he's genuine world class. He's better than Audley Harrison in every department. Okay, Harrison is bigger, he's a southpaw, he's heavier, a longer reach, but I feel Haye is different class as a fighter, a true warrior.
That's what we're about to find out, Jim, isn't it? Who's the better of them? That's why they're in there fighting. Let's have a look at the tail of the tape for this fight. David Haye, 9 years younger. Audley Harrison, 39 now. He's taller. And look at that, the 3 stone or so.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to the MEN Arena here in Manchester, England for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Adam Booth for Haymaker Boxing in association with Golden Boy Promotions and Sauerland Event. Also presented live and exclusive on Sky Box Office HD and for the first time in 3D. This bout is sanctioned by the World Boxing Association. The president is Gilberto Mendoza. Supervisor is Dave Roden. Along with the British Boxing Board of Control, the steward in charge is Charles Giles. Our timekeepers at the bell also keeping count of the knockdowns this evening. We have Andrew East and Barry Pinder. Introducing to you our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Birmingham, Terry O'Connor. From Leeds, Dave Paris, and from Derby, Paul Thomas. And our third man to the ring, the referee in charge. He'll be giving instructions after the introductions from Puerto Rico, Luis Pabon. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA Heavyweight Championship of the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Manchester, it's showtime! Introducing first, the challenger on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red trunks with silver trim, hailing from Wembley, London, England. He weighed in at 18 stone, 1 pound, 8 ounces. With a record of 27 wins and 4 losses, he has 20 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, he is making his first attempt at a world title. Here is the 2000 Olympic gold medalist, the former European heavyweight champion, introducing the always dangerous Audley A-Force Harrison. And his opponent across the ring, ready to go, the defending world champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue and red trunks, trimmed in the Union Jack, hailing from Bermondsey, London, England. He weighed in at a ready 15 stone, 8 ounces. With a record of 24 wins and 1 loss, he has 22 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former unified cruiserweight world champion. Tonight, making the second defense of his heavyweight title, here is the hard-hitting and defending WBA heavyweight champion of the world, introducing the Haymaker, David Haye. Once again, our referee in charge, Luis Pabon, now to give instructions.
Okay, guys, I give you instruction. Okay, guys. I give you instruction in the dressing room. Let's have a clean match, okay? Good luck and God bless you.
You've read and heard the millions of words spoken by both fighters. The hype has been deafening, but now the truth is the action that's about to unfold. All the answers coming up. David Haye has 15 wins inside 3 rounds. He's built for speed. Harrison says this is his destiny, his night at last. Can he suddenly produce the performance he thinks he's capable of to do this? Look at him towering over Haye.
Well, his body language was good during the introductions. He was claiming the centre of the ring. He wasn't hiding in the corner. Had his hands up before the bell sounded. He marched straight up. He's trying to go forward. So positive signs that he fancies the job at this moment. Will that change if a big punch is detonated on his chin? But positive look about Harrison, which is encouraging.
Over 18 stone in there, Audley Harrison. Haye, who decked John Ruiz in his last defence with almost his first punch of the contest. Big booming right hand. He's only fought one southpaw before in the pros and finished him off in 40 seconds in a European title fight. But he was knocked out by the southpaw Jim Twite in the amateurs. Haye. Cagey stuff, Jim.
Yeah, but his upper body movement is good. You know, showing little feints. He's trying to draw that southpaw jab from Harrison. But Harrison knows what's expected and he's not obliging. So, two good pros who know what they're doing, just boxing their way into this, concentrating and not making any mistakes.
In the amateur days, Harrison was the sorcerer and Haye the apprentice. Things have changed so much now. Looking for an angle for the punch again. It's been a bit of a standoff so far in this opening round, a reconnaissance mission, if you like.
Yeah, that could be one of the problems for Haye. Harrison is quick on his feet. He's very defensively minded. So Haye's going to have to lunge now and again to get close. He's trying to shuffle his way close. It's not working. So he tried to lunge with a shot there. There's hardly been a decent punch landed in the opening round yet. A couple of flicks to the body from Haye. I mean, you have to expect this. When you're in with a man who can take your head off with one shot, then you can't blame Harrison maybe for just warming his way into things here. But Haye's looking for him already.
Almost exaggerated caution in this opening round. 1 or 2 boos from restless fans. They both know that each other have got a bit of a dig and are respectful of that. No punches landed in this round so far. And there are, what, a few seconds left of it.
Well, Haye looking the more positive, but just can't close the range. Harris is making sure of that, so not too much happened, and the crowd are aware of that.
Don't be impatient. Don't be. Forget the booing, okay? Your job is to terrify.
Adam Booth with David Haye looking very thoughtful in the corner. And that first round, I have to say, it was a 0-0 draw.
That's exactly what it was. And what you have to remember in this kind of fight, Haye is the one who's expected to produce. So if we get another couple of rounds like this, then he's the one who's going to have to take the bull by the horns, take some chances. He is the champion. He is the one who brings excitement. So that's when he could run onto something.
Look at Haye's right glove up very high, worried about maybe that left hand that Harrison flattened Michael Sprock with, aware of that. But can he engineer any angles of his own? He's unusually cautious, David Haye, almost like he was with Nikolai Valuev on the night he won the title, when he made the Russian just lunge at him and miss all night. It was an unsatisfactory affair. There's something has to give soon.
Yep, he cannot do this for any great length of time, but because the fans won't put up with it. I mean, there was euphoria after the Valuev victory, although it was one of the poorest fights I've seen. This is more like it. But you see, again, he is having to lunge forward. He cannot box his way close. He's having to lunge with the punches, and there won't be the same power in them.
I just wonder whether Harrison, even though he's a southpaw, might be able to land the right hand, because look at the left glove of Haye, which is low, and he has been caught by that before as well. Whether he could surprise him with that, all the talk about the backhand, the left of Harrison.
I think the Harrison plan is to get into the second half of the fight, whatever method you have to use to do that. And I think the referee's going to have to call for a bit of action. He's done that.
He has. Luis Pabon from Puerto Rico says, how about some action, guys? And he's well within his rights to do that.
I think the 3-stone weight difference is a disadvantage in the first half of the fight, but an advantage if the fight goes into the later stages. And I can assume that is the plan the Harrison camp have. Do whatever's necessary to still be there, 7th and 8th round.
Harris had to take a right hand there from Haye, who's done a little bit more in this second round. But that is a comparative remark, and he gets there again with a right hand.
But again, leaping with the punches, so there's no power in those shots because he's not setting himself. Power comes from speed and good balance. He's completely off balance in order to get some sort of punch home.
But it's Haye who's trying to make the fight anyway in round 2. Still very, very negative. Audley Harrison, I think one southpaw jab is just about all I've seen from him really so far.
Ian, I think this is what we have to expect from Audley Harrison. I mean, he's been reluctant throughout his career. You cannot expect him to take chances against David Haye. I don't expect him to do that.
Haye's round, it has to be.
Okay, that's what I want you to do.
Shadid Saluki in the corner, West Coast trainer in the USA.
Man, when you got your feet under you.
Now,
but it's
that to me, I think that's about the only punch he's landed so far.
Yep, and you can see the look on his face. As soon as it landed, he was ready to get out of there, and there he goes. But this has to be expected of Harrison. It's in his psyche to box like this anyway. He's an on-top fighter. He has to get on top before he lets the big punches go. But the good news for the fans is that Haye is expected to do better, so as we're reaching the stage, he is going to have to produce something, or the fans will be on his back.
Not really seen an awful lot of the speed we were talking about and thought we'd see from Haye when he came in at only just over 15 stone. That, by the way, is nearly 12 pounds less than he weighed last time against John Ruiz.
But that's because, even for his size, Harrison is quick on his feet. He's been backing off. As soon as Haye nudges himself into punching range, Harrison takes that little half step back, just trying to draw lead. Good right hand there. Harrison grab and hold.
And another right hand and another body shot. Haye goes to work. Still nothing from Harrison. And at some point in this fight, he is going to have to lay it on the line on this his biggest professional night if he wants to become a world champion. Another big right hand that's hurt him. He was stunned by that. The gloves were dropped. Haye knows it. Looks for an uppercut. Getting to him here. He's getting to him here. Oh, big shots raining through. Harrison has to suck it up. He does suck it up.
Ian, that was a tremendous punch. Full credit for taking that. He needs to grab hold. He needs to grab hold of David Haye.
Floored Audley Harrison. Down he goes in round 3. Can he get up? Counts at 6. He gets up at 8. Shows the courage he does want to go on. But Haye hits very hard, and he he hurt, and he's going to finish it here. I think he does finish it all over in round 3. There's your answer. David Haye shows his class in a fight in which Audley Harrison barely threw a punch.
Well, the fight reached the stage where Haye was the one who was expected to do something, and he certainly did that. The speed, the power completely took charge. Full credit to Harrison, not on his performance, but for a couple of those tremendous punches that he took to the chin and remained upright. Credit also for coming up off the floor and trying to get back in when he was completely out of things. We won't call it a tremendous fight, we'll call it a tremendous finish for David Haye. The pressure is off him now. He could not afford to lose tonight. His whole career, his whole life was on the line, and he produced the goods.
At least Harrison did get up. He didn't stay down and wait for the count to get to 10, which would have been an easier route. He got up, he took his licks, I guess, but I think he's going to be desperately disappointed. You wonder really if that has to be the end. There they are, the old amateur friends who become foes. Maybe now they'll make it all up again. There's personal messages there, but the apprentice of old has beaten the sorcerer of old there, and really he blew it away. David Haye is class. I think you saw again there. I think he is a very, very heavy hitter.
Yep, and I feel, as I said, as he entered the ring, now that he's up from cruiserweight, he doesn't have to battle with the scales. I think he's punching even harder, and I don't think there's any heavyweight in the world today, including both of the Klitschkos, who could take the power if David catches them clean on the chin. He hits hard enough to knock out any heavyweight. That's why I'm complimenting Harrison on the fact that he took some tremendous punches before he folded. But will he regret tomorrow that he did not let one big left hand of his own go?
But you have to say, it was a dreadfully negative performance by Harrison, that.
Yes, it was, but we've had so many of those, we couldn't expect him to be any different. We know he is Audley Harrison.
Come on, Jim, not even when he's fighting for the world title, when he says it's his night of destiny. We accept that, do we?
Ian, we have to accept it, but I think his plan was to try to get through the early stages, to cover up and hopefully make some sort of impression when the pace slowed. He couldn't cope with David's power, he couldn't cope with his speed. All he could do was try and get some rounds by, but you can see here, completely gone, showing courage, staying upright there. I mean, at least 3 punches there should have put him on the floor, so we'll give him that credit. We couldn't expect him to do anything else. He's Audley Harrison, he spent a career doing this. Just not in the same class. As I said before the first bell sounded, he is a genuine world-class warrior. Harrison is not.
But we were invited to believe in the build-up to this fight that suddenly he would reinvent himself. Tonight it would all be different, well, but Ian, it wasn't different.
Ian, if you did believe that, it's your own fault.
Oh, I don't. I'm not saying I believed it.
Exactly, because he said it before every fight, and he said it after every fight, every comeback. But look at what he's taking here. This man, David Haye, is totally different class to Audley Harrison. We thought that when the match was made. Well, a little bit hypnotised with the talk of Harrison, but when push came to shove, different class altogether.
And he proved it, didn't he? We thought he was, and in the ring, after that dreadful opening round when nothing happened, Haye went to work, and once he got him going like this, there was only ever going to be one outcome.
Now, Audley managing to finish on his feet, which is a plus, but will he regret not even letting one big left hand go? That would be the big disappointment for me. Not once did he throw the big booming left hand that could have won him a world title. Didn't even throw it once. He landed one decent jab, and that was his contribution. I'm not shocked, slightly surprised, but let's remember Audley has done this so often in his previous career.
All credit to David Haye, who proves his world class. Maybe now we can move on and see him fight one of the Klitschko brothers who hold other versions of the world heavyweight title. I think the world wants to see that. As for Audley Harrison, never take away his Olympic gold medal, but it has to go down as a desperately disappointing professional career. Here it is officially with Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time. 1 minute 53 seconds in round number 3. Our referee in charge, Luis Pabon, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of technical knockout and still the WBA heavyweight champion of the world, the Haymaker, David Haye. And ladies and gentlemen, having a hand of recognition for the challenger, Audley Harrison.
Lennox Lewis, what do you make of that? He didn't look like he really came to fight Audley, but you've got to admire the power of Haye.
Well, you know, Haye did show some good power, but I was actually surprised that Audley, you know, he should have really took charge in the first couple rounds, threw a bit more punches. I was expecting a lot more out of Audley, and he just didn't really get it going tonight. And, you know, David Haye, you know, took his time and placed his punches correctly, and it seemed like his punches had a lot of power behind, a lot of sting behind it, and it really affected Audley, as you can see.
Well, there he is with the belt still around the waist. Let's hear from the Haymaker, David Haye, with Adam Smith.
David Haye, a sweet second defense of your WBA title. Were you always convinced you were going to crush Audley Harrison?
Yeah, I'm convinced I can crush anyone in the world. I'm in great condition, as you can see. I can punch and land punches whenever I choose to. That's why this fight went to the third round. I put a lot of money on the third round. A lot of my friends and family did, so I didn't want to let them down by doing them too early.
You're serious? That was the round you picked? That's why it was such a slow start?
Yeah, ask around. I told everyone I'd knock him out in 3 rounds, and that's exactly what I did. You know, no way was he going into that 4th round. I knew if he would have gave me something silly early, but he didn't. He was being very cautious. All I had to do was just apply myself a little bit more, and the shots would have landed. And that's how confident, that's how in control I am when I'm in there. I could have took him out earlier if I really put my foot on the pedal, but there was no need. I was being patient. I was waiting for him to give me the perfect opportunity to land my haymaker.
After all the talk and the hype, there were boos after the first couple of rounds because neither of you were doing anything really.
I knew that there was going to be a big third round. I knew the boos would turn into cheers in a matter of minutes. Adam wasn't fussed about that. He said to ignore it, and that's exactly what I did. I came back in the third round, like I said from the very first. Well, to ask a few reporters, I said after the weigh-in, after I looked him in the eyes, I knew that it wouldn't go further than 3 rounds.
Audley Harrison told us it was his destiny that he would knock you out with his left hand. He hasn't said anything else for about the last 10 weeks. He was bitterly disappointing, wasn't he?
Yeah, you know, one thing about me, when you look at videos of me fighting, I look like I'm easy to hit. But when you're actually in there fighting me, it's a completely different thing. I didn't give him the opportunity to land that left hand. I don't even know how many times he threw it, but it wasn't there for him to throw any. I was waiting for him to throw the left hand so I could counter it. He knew that. He knows me really well. But, you know, credit to him. He got himself in good shape, but maybe he could go on and fight someone else and win a title, but it's definitely not against me.
You proved again your power is so destructive. Now, going forward into 2011, the fight we all want to see is with one of the Klitschko's, Vitaly or Vladimir. You can hear the crowd's reaction. We've got to make that happen, haven't we?
Next year, I promise that fight's going to happen. I know there's nowhere else for them guys to go. They're fighting the Hassim Ratmans, the Shannon Briggs. They're fighting all the guys everyone's bored of. You know, Audley Harrison is a character in the UK. People got behind him. and that's why this fight happened. Who wants to see him fight Shannon Briggs or some of these anonymous Americans, fat Americans coming over for a payday? No one wants to see that, so they've got no other options. They have to come and sit down at the table and talk sense, and we've got to get that fight happening next year.
You say talk sense, hand on your heart. Can you go in there and make the negotiations and even take a little bit less money or something to prove that you're the best heavyweight in the world? Because at the moment, there are question marks still.
Yeah, there's always, even if I knocked them both out, there'll still be question marks. That's the thing about boxing. There's always question marks, but I guarantee those fights will happen next year, and I guarantee I'll give them the same treatment as Audley Harrison got, and that's a knockout.
David, congratulations. You keep your world title. Have you got a message for Audley Harrison after all the needle and the dislike?
Yeah, you know, we straightened it out once and for all in the ring. You know, there's a lot of disputes going on in the world, and it's a shame you can't go and get in a ring over 12 rounds and settle them. But, you know, I think the bad blood's gone now. You know, I've known Audley for many years, and, you know, I'd like to, you know, take him out for a drink after this.
That's nice to hear. Wonderful occasion, wonderful atmosphere. Not a great fight, but a wonderful knockout win for you. Well done, David.
Great finish.
David Haye showing some dignity in victory there. The best of enemies, the best of friends now, he says. But he cuts a very lonely figure, doesn't he? Audley Harrison really didn't show up tonight. The big fight analysis is on the way next.